Japan has entered a historic new chapter. Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has thanked U.S. President Donald Trump for his congratulatory message after her coalition delivered a landslide victory in Sunday's lower house election. In a post on X, Takaichi called the U.S.-Japan alliance limitless and pledged to strengthen ties between the two nations. Takaichi, Japan's first female prime minister, led the Liberal Democratic Party to its best result in history, securing 316 of the 465 seats in Parliament's powerful lower chamber. The victory gives her government a commanding two-thirds supermajority, enough to push through major legislation and even constitutional reforms. Reacting to the result, President Trump praised what he called a landslide victory, saying Takaichi now leads a legislature with historic strength. He wished her success in advancing what he described as a conservative, peace through strength agenda, echoing language long used by his own administration. For Tokyo, the election marks more than a domestic political triumph. It signals continuity in Japan's security strategy at a time of rising tensions in the Indo-Pacific. Takaichi has campaigned on boosting defense spending, deepening cooperation with Washington, and taking a tougher stance against regional threats from North Korea and an increasingly assertive China.
Thank you all very much for being here. This past weekend, a strong cold wave hit us. Even in the midst of such severe cold, I would like to express my deep gratitude to everyone in the local governments who worked hard to manage and conduct the election, to all those involved, including the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications, and to all the citizens who made the effort to go to the polling stations. I would also like to extend my sympathies to everyone in the regions that experienced heavy snowfall. There have already been damages caused by falling snow and other related incidents. When carrying out tasks such as clearing snow from roofs, I urge everyone to take thorough safety precautions. Across the country, to all the candidates who fought through a tough election campaign, thank you all for your hard work. I would also like to express my gratitude to the party members and everyone involved who supported us on the ground day and night. This dissolution and general election was about fundamentally strengthening the responsible and proactive fiscal and security policies advocated by the Takaichi cabinet. Whether it is appropriate to advance such important policy shifts as strengthening the government's intelligence functions, under a coalition government between the Liberal Democratic Party and Nippon Ishin no Kai, this was also an election for the people to decide before these matters are fully deliberated in the long parliamentary session that is about to begin. Well, if the people do not give their trust to this major policy shift, then there is no point in me remaining as Prime Minister. That is why I am staking my position on this. Yes, I have repeatedly stated this. And just yesterday, the citizens of this great nation gave me a powerful and incredibly strong push to ensure we see this vital policy shift through to the end, no matter what obstacles we may face. I want to say that I am truly and deeply grateful for this overwhelming show of support from the very bottom of my heart, and I thank you all. Yes. The ruling parties, the Liberal Democratic Party and Nippon Ishin no Kai, together received a total of 352 seats, which is a very large number. Thinking about making the Japanese archipelago stronger and more prosperous, this is the beginning of our responsibility. I feel a renewed sense of determination. All of the important policy initiatives I mentioned earlier have been included in the Liberal Democratic Party's campaign pledges. Our party's candidates appealed these points across the country, and as a result, we have earned the trust of the people. That is precisely why. As one united force, we will grit our teeth and fulfill the promises we made to the people. I will stand at the forefront and see this through to the end. However, the fact remains that the ruling party does not hold a majority in the House of Councillors. Therefore, we will continue to seek the cooperation of opposition parties that are positive about realizing policies. We will continue to ask for your cooperation. We will listen to a variety of voices and approach the administration of government with humility, but also with boldness. To that end, it is important for the Liberal Democratic Party to unite with the policy pledges we made to the people as our foundation. We do not have the luxury of basking in the reasons for our victory. we must act swiftly. We will convene a special session of the Diet and first and foremost work to pass next year's budget and related bills as quickly as possible. We also ask for the cooperation of the opposition parties. At the same time, we will call for cooperation regarding participation in the National Council and the early convening of its meetings. We will focus our support on low and middle income earners who are burdened by the regressive nature of social insurance premiums, and from the perspective of ensuring their take-home pay increases on a permanent basis. We will advance discussions toward the introduction of a tax credit system with benefits. However, it will take some time to implement this system. In the meantime, for a period of 2 years only, regarding the idea of setting the consumption tax rate on food and beverages to zero, we intend to have the National Council examine various issues toward its realization, such as the schedule and sources of funding. In any case, we will not rely on the issuance of special government bonds. We will secure 2 years' worth of funding by reviewing subsidies and special tax measures, as well as through non-tax revenues, and will do our utmost to realize this as quickly as possible. The core of the policy shift under the Takaichi administration is responsible and proactive fiscal policy. This is the first time in the long history of the Liberal Democratic Party that it has been written into the administration's policy pledges. We must completely break away from excessive austerity and insufficient investment in the future. Japan's potential growth rate, which indicates the true strength of its economy, has remained much lower than that of other major countries. When we analyze the reasons for this, we find that the innovative capabilities and workforce efficiency, qualities that represent the true strength of the Japanese people, are at a high level comparable to those of other leading nations. However, domestic investment has been overwhelmingly insufficient. The government needs to take a proactive step forward to minimize various risks through crisis management investments and to promote bold investments in growth areas that will allow advanced technologies to flourish, encouraging investment through public-private cooperation. The nation must step forward and boldly promote domestic investment. This is a global trend. We cannot afford to sit back and wait. Therefore, we will fundamentally reform the way the national budget is structured. To ensure predictability and encourage companies to invest in research, development, and facilities, we will enable long-term policy support through the establishment of funds. Furthermore, we will break away from the practice of formulating budgets on the assumption that a supplementary budget will be created every year and instead allocate necessary funds in the initial budget. The budget for fiscal year 2026 is the first step, but starting in earnest with the budget requests for fiscal year 2027 this summer, we will undertake this initiative, which will require 2 years from the initial request to the enactment of the budget for the following year. This is a major reform. We will see it through without fail.